Please be advised that this video is for the sole purpose of entertainment. Any views are purely my own, are subjective and may not necessarily be true. I do, however, do extensive research for all of my videos. All photos have been found on the public domain. I am using them under the fair use and fair dealing guidelines. I urge everybody to do their own research. Well, hello, it's Murky Meg here. It's Tuesday the 7th of Jan and good evening. This is a rare thing for me to do. But news has just broke in the most spectacular way. And in fact, I'm still a bit shell-shocked. It's actually 11:30 here in the UK. I should be tucked up in bed, but I'm not. I'm bringing this news because it's just so shocking. There's a very good reason why Meghan looks like the cat that's got the cream and Harry looks a little worried, bothersome, and quite frankly scared to death. Also, this big meeting that they had a lot on the line today, and as some of you may have noticed, Meghan was clearly feeling a little nervous because she was rather hot and bothered. Low blow, I know, but sorry, I just couldn't resist. Anyway, on to this big news story. News has just broken that Prince Harry and Meghan are planning to actually move to Canada for a significant portion of this year as they begin talks with family members, including Queen and Prince Charles, about their future roles. And Dan Wootton of The Sun said, "I've learnt that long-term options being floated include the Sussexes relinquishing their HRH titles or relocating their office to Canada. But friends of Harry and Meghan stress the talks are preliminary and nothing has been finalised." Telling quote from Harry and Meghan's friend to me this week, "They're on a different and unique path. It has been made very clear by the institution that the Sussexes are not central to the future plan. Look at the picture released of the Queen with Charles, William and George." Well, I think that's reading into it a little bit too much, but this is a massive thing. Although Buckingham Palace have denied that this is happening, we all know that sometimes, and it has been done in the past, Meghan and Harry have left Buckingham Palace out of the loop. Archie's birth is a fine example of this. The only reason why I could think that this is not true is the victim card yet again that Meghan wants to play. She's come back, she's done this weird engagement at Canada House when they didn't really need to go. There was a reason why they did this, and I believe that they are in talks with Canada about taking their role over to the country and basically jacking in the UK. But what happens to Frogmore? I've said this in my previous video. We, the taxpayer, have paid over £3 million, and there will be more because it goes into the next financial year, so it will be more than £3.2 million. You can bet your bottom dollar. But what happens to their house? Do we get reimbursed for it? Or is it just, bye-bye, here are the keys? Or do they get to hold on to it? It's very interesting, isn't it? Now, we have heard similar rumours with regards to them moving to South Africa or Africa in general. It wasn't actually specified. But I think this is a little bit more juicy than that because they've been in Canada, or rather allegedly in Canada, and they didn't really need to go to Canada House today. In fact, even royal editor and chief investigative reporter of the Daily Mirror had been scratching his head about this particular weird engagement. He didn't understand it either. And it's now glaringly obvious of why they actually went to Canada House today. And like I said at the start of this video, Harry looked extremely weird at times and Meghan was sweating profusely. It's not normal for her to do this. She doesn't normally sweat like this, but it was quite a large problem and a lot of people on social media are referring to it, and quite rightfully so, to be perfectly honest. She didn't look her best. She looked puffy-eyed, she looked like she'd been crying, but it's so bizarre, isn't it? And now this news breaks that they're probably going to Canada and they're in preliminary talks with the royal family. Could this be the end of the Harkles with regards to royal life? Or, as I suspect, I don't think the Queen will let them, or personally let Harry, hand in his title. I think she will be a little bit more malleable with regards to them dipping their toe in and going over to live in Canada. If that happens, I think there needs to be some serious discussions with regards, and transparency, to be fair, with regards to who pays for their lifestyle. Because if they're in Canada, I personally, and this is just my own opinion, I'm sure most Brits would feel the same, why on earth would we want to pay for them if they are not living in this country? And the fact that $45 million was spent on their wedding and $3.2 million so far has been spent on Frogmore Cottage. What do we get for that? I'd also like to note that the article says that friends also say it's been made very clear by the institution that the Sussexes are not central to the future plan. Like I said before, this is very telling indeed. I think what Harry and Meghan are doing is whispering to friends about their desire or their unhappiness of control that they want. Maybe the brakes are being put on them and they're being told what they can and they can't do, and this is them fighting back. But again, they did this in South Africa, didn't they? They didn't get the response that they wanted, so they stomped their feet and had a tantrum and said they were leaving the UK. Didn't happen though, did it? Again, I will reiterate, Buckingham Palace have denied this. They have actually been left out the loop before. So what do you guys think? Do you think this is real, or do you think this is Meghan Markle's friends just trying to stir the pot and make it seem like it's a natural progression, when in fact they're doing dodgy deals behind the scenes away from Buckingham Palace's eyes? We know that she has previous in playing the victim and also using her friends to talk to the media when she wants to manipulate a story. Could this be one of those occasions, much like People magazine and the father's letter? She's controlling the media to try and make it seem like they are hard done by, and therefore they have no option but to move to Canada and maybe possibly blackmail the Queen a little bit and say, if you don't give us this, we're off. Would it work? Would the Queen buckle? Or would she simply say, off you pop? It's quite ironic that this video is titled Harry and Meghan set to quit the UK, and my previous video is titled Harry and Meghan are back in the UK. Irony is not lost on me. Anyway, what do you all think? Do you think that this is happening, or do you think this is all a ruse for Meghan Markle to play the victim, paint the narrative, and manipulate everybody to try and make us feel sorry for her? Let me know what you think. Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell. Thank you to everyone that has donated to my channel. I'm overwhelmed with your generosity and kindness. Once again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you very soon.